Well, I just moved to this office. I got a big picture at home. I just haven't brought it yet and to put it up. But yeah, my visual game is kind of whack right now.
My office looks okay. My home office is kind of boring, so that's why I have this on. But when I'm at my actual office, it looks
Yeah.
better. So
Oh, good, man. Good. Well, hey, man, I guess we'll just jump into it, guys. We are here today. Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real with Real Estate Rich. I am your host, Rich Jackson. Got a great show for you guys lined up. We got a great guest that's here to answer questions and give us some insight about the real estate market as far as the lending and mortgage side of the things. And just so you guys know, the purpose of the show, is really just to bring inspiration, education, insight to what's going on in the real estate market. We're keeping it 100% real here, no fluff. We're not here to sell you anything. I'll be bringing professionals, in certain industries such as lending and vendors, contractors, title reps. It's going to be a lot of things happening on this show. So the whole idea of it is, like I said, hopefully you guys learn from this podcast, get some good motivation, inspiration, and kind of know what's going on in our world, basically, and having fun at the same time. So today's show, we got my buddy, a good friend, awesome mortgage lender. And by the way, just so you know, anyone that comes on this show is someone that I vouch for. I've either done business with, plan on doing business with, but anyone I bring on this platform, guys, just know they are legit. They're go-getters. They do what they say and they say what they do. So that's very key.
that's right.
You don't find that much, unfortunately, in our business. It's sad though, but it's true. So yeah, today we got one of my go-to lenders, guys, Mark Rocha. He's with Nexa Mortgage, and welcome to the show, Mark.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. This is a great tool for anybody that's in the market, thinking about getting in the market. There's a lot of information available out there. You just gotta log in, connect with the right people, and tune into things like this to become aware of what's going on around you, because there's a lot going on right now. So you definitely want to tune in and take advantage of this kind of stuff, especially for free.
Just jump right? That's what I'm saying.
Jump right in and get all the information you can. So thanks for having me, Rich.
Hey man, anytime. Like before we started recording, I was just giving you props, and I love your backdrop there. You got the whole Nexa going on. Like I was telling everybody, I still got to get my background right, but it's coming along as the show progresses. I got a lot of plans for the show, man. I mean, there's no limits. You never know where we're going to show up. I like to do stuff out, on the go sometimes too. So we're not always just in the office, but
yeah.
But yeah. So how's everything going with you, man? How's business? I know I brought you on to answer a question from a viewer. Maybe we should start there.
Yeah, we can start there.
And before we get to the question real quick, Mark, I just want to tell everyone, to all guys, always, anyone have any questions, anything you guys want us to discuss on the show, please put them in the comments. You can inbox me. Hell, you can text me, call me. You can text me 721-4313. Of course, that's 559 area code. But please, guys, we need your questions. That's what we're here for, to answer anything you guys want to know and to discuss any topics you guys are most interested in, so that way we cover them. So, which brings me to the first question from a viewer. His name is Anthony Collins. Shout out, Anthony. And this is for you. And the question is, are there first-time buyer loans for down payments that don't have to be paid back? He said he's seen some offers like that and just wanted to confirm with a professional. So my short answer is yes, but I'm going to turn it over to Mark because this is your area. So I'll let you take that question over.
Yeah, absolutely. There are, Anthony. Those are called DPA, or down payment assistance programs. Not all of them even require you to be a first-time home buyer, but most of them do. So there are some DPA programs that people may or may not be eligible for. A lot of them are dependent on the state or the county in your state. So what I know more is of California, since that's where I'm licensed at. And in our market, narrowing it down to Fresno, in the Fresno market, there's quite a bit. Actually, there's quite a bit. It's important to know that every single one of these is not built the same. So whenever somebody rolls one out, like most recently, Bank of America just rolled one out that they do. As long as you go through them, it's their program. They just rolled one out with different set of criteria that a different down payment assistance program may have. So speaking to a professional is definitely how you're going to figure out which one you fit in or qualify for, and then of the ones that you qualify for, which one is the best for you. So yeah, there definitely are, but you just got to be, like I said, aware of what the fine print on them shows. And in true honor of this show and keeping it real, a lot of them are not all that beneficial for you. So some of these that do come out have some criteria that say, hey, yeah, man, you could do this forgivable loan. Maybe it isn't a forgivable loan, but they say that, yeah, you can do it, but you can't carry as much debt as you would like to. So now your purchase price is going to go from 325 that you're approved at all the way down to 220, 230. And that takes a lot of buying power away, and it may or may not make that program worth it. So there's a lot of fine print that goes into these. But to answer your question, yes, there are. Cal HFA is one here in California that does down payment assistance programs. A lot of their information is on their website, which is calhfa.org, I believe, or .gov maybe. They publish everything on there as far as the rates that you take, as far as the maximum amount of debt that you're allowed to take, the maximum amount of income that you're allowed to earn amongst everybody that's going to be on the loan. So Cal HFA has one that is a down payment assistance where they cover the closing costs and the down payment. And that would not be a forgivable one. There's also another one that they just rolled out maybe 4 months ago. That one's called an equity builder. That one allows for you to not have to pay back that loan as long as you're in the home for 5 years. And every single year, that loan or that grant becomes more and more forgiven, and until you've been in that home for 5 years and it's completely forgiven. So there are programs that go both ways. Just like I said, you got to look at the fine print. Do I make too much? Is my credit score at a qualifiable level for them? Am I carrying too much debt that this program will allow me to carry? So there's just a lot of different things that go into whether or not you're qualified. But are the programs available? Yes, they are.
And really, it sounds like Anthony, or anyone that's looking, I would say the best thing is just to talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your lender, and they're going to roll out whatever programs they have, products they have, if they have that. And just to my knowledge, Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not offered with every mortgage company, or every lender does not offer that, right? Or they do.
Right. Yeah. So especially programs like Cal HFA or Bank of America, they rolled out their own. Each lender is going to be approved or not approved to do those loans. Or each bank is going to be approved or not approved to do those loans. Mm-hmm. Like the Bank of America when it comes out. I mean, unless you're able to, develop a partnership with Bank of America. Like just being straight up, I can't lend on that Bank of America loan because I can't send deals to Bank of America. That's just not who I'm partnered with. So whatever they come out with, that's really just going to be a competing down payment assistance. So no, not everybody is available or has access to these programs. You just have to find a lender that does. And it's always good to shop. It's always good to shop and find out, who's going to offer the best terms, the best interest rate, or even a program that I can qualify for. It goes both ways. If you hear yes from multiple lenders, that's great. Shop them. But on the flip side, if one lender tells you no, that doesn't mean no everywhere. So just continue to look, continue to shop, and everybody, just like these programs are not all the same. Not all mortgage banks, brokers, retail, doesn't matter who you go to, they're not all the same as well.
Yeah, and with my clients, man, and if you're out there, you guys out there looking for a home, new first-time buyers or whatnot, I always tell my clients to seek out at least 2 different lenders, if not 3, right? Because you might have a great relationship with your bank, say Bank of America. You might go there. They may be able to qualify you at a certain amount and give you a certain rate. However, another, like a mortgage broker, may be able to get you a better rate, better terms, better product for you. So it's always definitely recommended, guys, in your best interest when you're looking for a home, be sure to seek at least 2 or 3 different lenders, and you want to compare everything so that way you know you're getting the best rate for you. And so that's just my honest. That's what I tell all my clients because that's really what it's about.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So, yeah, man. And really quick, Mark. I know there may be people watching this, right, that are not too familiar the difference. They don't really know the difference between going to like a Wells Fargo or Bank of America to try to qualify for a loan, or someone like yourself who, like a mortgage broker who specializes in mortgages, right? So there is a difference, and you could probably just quickly touch on that. That way, give people a little bit of insight on the differences.
Yeah, yeah. Without diving too much into the business side of it, and more so on how it affects you guys as the buyers.
Yeah.
When you go to a bank, and a lot of people start there because that's where they have their checks going. That's where they have their all their drafts. They're just everything is through the bank, so they feel most comfortable there. They visit that way more than they visit mortgage broker businesses or anything like that. So they feel very comfortable going there. But all that a bank is they are lending their own money. So they're going to have their own set of rules. They're going to have their own programs that they can use. You go to a mortgage broker, and a broker is going to take your file, take your financial background, your credit score, your debt to income ratio, everything that's taken into account. We take it and we shop it to different banks, to different wholesale banks. It could go to a Chase Bank. That's where we say, hey, look, this is the best rate when we broker this deal out. So pretty much brokers are doing the shopping for you. You go to a bank and you have their programs and their programs only. So that's why a lot of times people will hear no from Noble Credit Union, or they'll hear no from a Golden One, and they just assume that everybody follows the same rules, and that's just not the case. There's a lot of different mortgage companies. There's a lot of different banks, wholesale banks. There's a lot of different investors that will fund these mortgages that have different requirements.
Yep.
And that's really how it breaks down for you guys. If you go somewhere online like big retail, like a Rocket Mortgage, you enter all your information online. It's really just this Rockets programs. It's the bank's programs. It's brokers potentially taking the deal to Rocket. So there's just a lot of different ways that you can get your mortgage funded, which is why it's so important to speak to as many people as you can, to get as much information as you can to make the best decision for yourself.
And guys, don't be shy out there. Definitely reach out to Mark. His number's there on the screen.
Yeah, right there.
Great lender. Like I said, reach out to him. But if you're looking to buy, I would say reach out to him, but also reach out to maybe your bank and another one. Again, you want to just have options. You want to see what's going to be the best fit for you, and whatever one makes feel the best for you. That's the ultimate goal there, man. Hey, since we're talking about this, where we got to go next, because everybody just wants to know the market.
Yep.
Market. It is mighty different than it was this time last year, to say the least, right? I guess.
Yeah, I was just thinking that while I was saying what I was saying right now. I was thinking, whoever's watching this going, yeah, Mark, that's cool and all, but who's got the best interest rates, man? What's going on with these interest rates? I was just thinking it to myself. That's what my buyers are going to be thinking, So
yeah. So I want to definitely get into rates, and you can let us know where rates are. But I got some good insight on where the market is, but I'll get into that shortly. And just keep in mind, guys, if your only reason to buy a home is where it has to depend on the interest rate and where that is, that's not the best. That's really not the way to go about it, and I'll explain later. But right now, Mark, where are rates talking this week? And I know we are second week of July. So where are we at?
Second week of July. So if you guys recall or heard at all in the news, the Feds, they did an interest rate hike and all of this about a month ago, right in the beginning of June, that came out 0.75%, right? And a lot of people were under the impression that goes straight to the interest rate. So if they were going to be offered a 4% last week, after that meeting, they're assuming that now they're going to get 4.75 or 5. And that is honestly how the market took it. It jumped up a whole lot. We were looking at 6.5, 6.75. We jumped up quite a bit.
Right. But historically, that's not too bad.
It's not right. So what happened? I mean, that was already a month. That was a month ago. where the Feds announced this. We're about a month later now, and the interest rates are back to or lower than before that hike even went back up. So in the past 30 days, we've actually downtrended. Okay, so we saw some interest rates go back down. Still not at the levels that everybody is hoping for last year, even beginning of this year, to be honest. We're still not back at those levels. But that's just the way the market goes, and it's smart what Rich would just said a little while ago. If you're trying to time it based on the interest rate, sheesh, that's I mean, if you could do it, you'd be a millionaire, maybe 2 times multi-millionaire if you can time things like that, on a consistent basis. But a lot of what happens is you wait trying to do that, and the opportunity cost just far outweighs trying to time the market. So right now we're seeing interest rates hover around 5.75, 6%. That's where we're seeing them hover right now, which is down, like I said, from a month ago. It's lower than it was a month ago. Still much higher than it was in January.
Let me just say one thing, Mark, and this is very true too. So guys, if you're waiting for rates to go down or up, look at it this way, right? We just left a housing market where rates were super low, 2-3%, right? What happened in that environment, in that market? What did we see? We saw massive demand. When rates are low, we're going to have a bunch of people trying to buy at the same time. What does that mean? Oh, it means more competition and prices are going up crazy, right? And you're competing with 15, 20, like we were last year, different buyers, to where there's a great chance that you might not even get the house you want because it's too much demand. Flip side, we are in a market where rates are higher. Now we're seeing more opportunity for buyers now. Buyers are having more options. They're having better chance. They're only competing with maybe 1 or 2 other buyers in a lot of cases. So it's a great chance to get the house you really want without having to overbid 15, 20,000. You lock in whatever the rate is today, 6%, whatever, who cares, right? But you get into that home that you want. Now, if you are looking to buy a house and you're looking for long-term, it doesn't matter because you can always refi down the line. As long as once you get into the house you love, the payments are okay for you and they work out for you. Hey, if the market shifts later down the line, which I don't see a sign of any rates coming down, especially the Fed is increasing their rate, but you might see different. But you can always refi later on if the market does rates do come down. So that's just my little 2 cents. But I would say, yeah, this is the opportunity to get the house you want, only if you're looking to stay there long term.
Right. Yeah. One of the things one of my colleagues said was that you don't marry the rate, you marry the house. And as long as your timeline for holding this piece of property, whether it's going to be a primary home that obviously you're going to hold as long as you can because you need a place to live, or if it's an investment property, how quickly you plan on getting in and out of it, if that's even the case at all. The interest rate, you can always restructure your mortgage debt, if opportunities present themselves, and with higher interest rates now than there have been in the past 2 years, that is an option for you. People that I've worked with 2 years ago, I put them in the last mortgage they're ever going to need. So unless they want to buy another home, they're not going to call me ever again. You know what I mean? Unless they refer somebody, or like I said, they plan on moving up to another home or whatever it may be. But people buying in this market right now, you're buying, a fixed interest rate at an affordable mortgage payment. To you, every case is case by case. But if it's affordable to you now, you at least have the option in the future to restructure that debt to be even more affordable. So that's an option now for buyers that buyers in the past 2 or 3 years have not. They won't have.
And what have you seen as far as demand the last month or so, as far as purchases, and even I know refi is just all-time low. I'm sure there's not too many refis going on, but what are you seeing? I'm sure everything is down, but what are you seeing on purchase side right now?
So me personally, what I'm seeing is I think I've done 2 refinances this year, 2 or 3. So they're pretty much gone. I mean, every time you refinance, you're applying for a home loan to buy your home from yourself at what you expect to be better rate and terms. That's what a refinance is. So it's a home loan just like a purchase, except there's no down payment included because you already own the home. You're just restructuring your mortgage debt. Right now doesn't make a whole
Closing
lot of
costs,
sense.
right?
What's
There
that?
are closing costs.
Right. Yeah.
You may not be aware. Yeah, there are closing costs.
Yeah, there are close. So it's exactly the same as a regular home loan, except there's no down payment. So you'd still have the closing costs on a refi. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the price you're paying to get that better rate in term. So if you're paying closing costs and you're not getting a better rate in term, refis doesn't make sense, which is why those numbers are down. What I'm seeing for me personally is all purchase, all cream of the crop borrowers. And it doesn't mean that everybody's got $100,000 to put down. It just means that everybody's got stable income. They've got decent credit scores, and their debt to income ratio is in check, which means they're buying affordable homes. Whether it's 3, 4, 500,000, if it's within the guidelines, and all of these purchases are all being made with a 40% debt to income ratio, meaning that 40% of the income coming into the household is being used for all of your debts plus this new mortgage, which is super safe. I mean, that is affordable. That's where you want to be. You want to be somewhere like that. So what I'm seeing a lot of purchases that are coming in like this. Some cream of the crop borrowers that have got their their finances in place, and they're buying homes that they can afford, and nobody's really overstepping. I'm seeing less transactions, less applications coming in, less transactions happening, but I'm seeing how frequent. I pre-approved a buyer, blew my mind. I pre-approved a buyer on a Wednesday one week, and they were into contract by that coming Monday. So they went and viewed homes over the weekend and had an offer accepted in less than a week. That's unheard of in the past.
Right.
In
That's why I
the
said
past,
opportunity is here. It only though, like I said, it's a case by case. If your situation, you've been looking for a house this last year or a year before, or you just like, man, you really want to get into a new home, you plan to make it, 8-10 year house, or longer. This will be the opportunity right now. Because again, if you were to come in the market last year, my friend, unfortunately, you would have to have a lot of cash, you would have to be willing to give a lot blood, your firstborn. I mean, it was
yeah.
Unfortunately, it was out of control. But the good thing is now, like I said, a lot less competition. So now buyers, and actually, man, as it transitions, man, I'm gonna be surprised that buyers are gonna start asking for closing costs from the seller, and and creative financing is probably gonna be definitely going to be more common, more financing, things like that. Those are topics I'm definitely going to discuss on this show later, guys. So just hang in there. Everything you guys want to know, we'll talk about and cover. And man, Mark, we could be on here for hours, bro. It's so much. It's so much I want to discuss. But before we go, really quick, I want to just touch on this. There's a lot of people may not be familiar with the term ARM, right? They hear ARMs. What's an ARM? Adjustable rate mortgage, right?
Mortgage, right? Okay, yeah.
So I want you to kind of touch on that, explain it briefly, but also, do you see an uptick in that, and do you feel that is something that buyers should be kind of looking for right now as we get into this market?
Okay, so an ARM, adjustable rate mortgage, ARM, differs from what most people are getting themselves into right now, which is a fixed interest rate loan, meaning that the interest rate will never change for the entire 30 years. That's what a fixed rate is. An ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, is going to be fixed for a certain period of time, and then after that period of fixed time, it's going to adjust to where the market is every 6 months, every year, whatever the terms of that ARM is. It's going to adjust after that fixed period. Typically, the ARMs that are offered are going to be a lower interest rate than what the fixed rates currently are. So let's just say, for comparing here, if we're at 6% on a rate right now, that's where the fixed sits. Then an ARM is probably going to be somewhere between a 5 and a 5.25. Okay, so it's going to be a lower interest rate, which is going to translate to a lower monthly payment. But again, for a fixed amount of time, once that time is up, if the interest rates are higher, you will see that interest rate move, which means your mortgage payment will move. So it's going to move with the market, whichever direction it's going. That's what's going to happen with an ARM. I personally still have not closed one thing that somebody wants an ARM. And here's the reason why. A lot of I have noticed an uptick in questions about ARMs and interest in ARMs, but as far as actually choosing that over a fixed, I haven't seen it at a much higher rate than I guess you would expect in a rising rate environment.
Right.
You
And
might
maybe a
expect
lot
to
of
see
people
more of them.
maybe, and I'm guessing maybe the awareness or people not too familiar with it. And honestly, guys, before you rush out, go get arms and things like that. First advice, very important. Seek your mortgage professional first. Seek them, get their advice. You may want to get a couple different advices from mortgage, but make sure you that the arm is good for you. It's not for everyone. You definitely want to know what you're doing, knowing what you're getting into, but it could be beneficial in some cases.
Could be, yeah.
Well, especially if it's a 5 or even do they even have 10-year?
Yeah. So 3, 5, 7, and 10 are the typical ones.
And let's explain what that means, because they're like 5 to 7. What is that?
Right. So a 3-year ARM means for 3 years, your interest rate will be fixed at whatever interest rate you lock in and close your deal on, close your house on, or close an investment property, whatever it is. For 3 years, it's going to be fixed. After that, it adjusts. That's when the adjustable kicks in. A 5-year is exactly the same thing, just 5. 7, same thing, just 7 years. And a 10-year ARM is the same thing, 10 years fixed. After that, it adjusts. So that's what we mean when we say 3, 5, 7, 10. And then the adjustable period starts after those years are done. Typically, though, when we're looking at ARMs, you're going to be paying more in closing costs to take those. So right now, when I do speak to clients about an ARM and they do express their interest in looking into an adjustable rate mortgage, if their personal opinion is that the interest rates will come back down within 2 years and they plan on refinancing, the closing cost amount that you pay for an ARM, the increase may not be worth it if you plan on getting out of it in a year or 2 years, because you're essentially paying the interest up front, to keep it fixed at a lower rate. So if you plan on getting out of it in 6 months when, I think interest rates are going to drop, or a year or whatever, and this is all personal opinions. So when somebody comes to me and be like, hey man, I want the lower rate now, and then I'll just refinance out of it in a year, the cost associated with an ARM may not make it make sense if that's the case. But like I said, it's all dependent on your timeline. Like if you guys plan on holding this property for a long time, holding your dream home or your starter home, maybe you plan on making it a 5-year starter home, you can't go wrong buying real estate. To be honest, it's one of the better asset classes, so
especially
definitely evaluate it that way. I wouldn't even look at it, hey, what's my down payment, what's my closing cost, and what's my final down payment amount. Just instead view it as, what's my final investment amount? What's the investment amount that's going to be due from me when it comes time to close? Because when you think about it that way, the money's just not going anywhere. You're not giving it to somebody and they're running off with it. You're just putting it in an asset, and that's in the home. So whichever route you decide to go, fixed, ARM, whatever your timeline is, just know that this is a tried and proven asset vehicle, real estate, whether you're looking for a place to home or call a home or a place to rent out. This is an investment vehicle.
Yeah. Hey guys, a lot of gems there, man. Fire content, man. Mark, I appreciate you. You gotta come back for sure, because we got so much to cover, and I don't want to. I mean, this show could be 2-3 hours, man. So much. But hey guys, the reason I bring guys on like this, because anyone I bring on, like I said before, it's full of integrity. They're honest, trustworthy. They're going to tell you like it is. I've been knowing Mark and I know how he works. If you go to him, he's going to steer you the right way, even if it's, he'll tell you not to do it, not to refi, or maybe it's not a good time, but it's a case-by-case situation. That's why it's so important that we listen to your needs. And then all we can do is provide the best advice by experience and knowledge that we have to give you the tools to use for your own, and you can do what you want. But I would definitely reach out to Mark if you have any questions on a mortgage. Also, guys, always remember, put in the comments, message me your questions. We need your questions. They will be answered. I'll even give you a shout out as well with the questions, concerns, inbox, comment, phone number, all that good stuff. Mark, before we leave, tell people how to get a hold of you, man. I'm sure there's some people that want more information or want to qualify for a loan.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can, if you see me on my screen here, if it's not too small, you guys can reach out to me at 559-301-0833. You guys can reach out to me through email if that's your preferred method at M as in Mark Rocha, ROCHA at nexamortgage.com. And then also our office space. Our office space is on Hernan and First. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Hernan and Fresno. Hernan and Fresno. I always get those streets. They run the same way, man. There's Hernan and Fresno, right behind the Chili's there on the corner, right down the street from Kaiser. That's where our office space is at. So you guys just pop in there, say hi if you got some questions. You know, have a seat. And if I'm not with anybody, have a seat and let's talk through this goal of home ownership that you guys have.
Awesome. Good stuff, my friend. Well, it's been a pleasure having you guys, or having you, Mark. Hope you guys got a lot of information on this show, some gems there. Yeah, we're gonna keep at this and keep this ball going and keeping it real, man. That's what we do. Any last words? Anything you want to leave them with? Any good books lately, man? You need anything that you came across? Because I'm always looking for motivational stuff, good stuff, or
Okay, yeah. So what I'm currently reading Non-Negotiable. Non-Negotiable is by Wes Watson. That one was referred to by Corbin Claypool.
Okay, shout out Corbin, man.
Yeah, shout out to Corbin, man. He's another stud out here in this Fresno market.
Right.
He's a loan officer himself. So he recommended that book, Non-Negotiable. But I'm also what's that?
Who's that by?
Wes Watson.
Wes Watson. Okay.
Wes Watson. Yeah. He's actually not like a traditional author. He was actually incarcerated. He was formerly incarcerated.
Oh, wow.
Came out and wrote a book, but he's got his mindset way different, man. To get up and go and not negotiate with yourself. And set a plan, sign a contract with yourself, and no going back on it. Just kind of get up and go. Kind of get you going there. So yeah. I like it so far. I like it.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I'll definitely check that out. And anything else you recommend? But that's all I got for today, guys. Another great episode, my friend Mark. Man, good seeing you again.
Absolutely.
You got to close.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my friend. Well, thanks you guys for tuning in. Keeping It Real Estate Rich platform here for you guys to answer all your questions, concerns about real estate, the economy, whatever you want to talk about. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep it real every time. You guys have a great one. All right, Mark. Talk to you soon.
See you guys later.
Late.